Oh, yeah. We're in Central Bella Vista, which is a cattle production facility. We're doing a tour of this facility today, and as we were driving in, everybody in our bus just got super excited as we were coming down the road. We're gonna get an education on the whole process from the start of, the birth of the cow to making it to the grill or the plate. We've got some amazing folks here that are gonna just share knowledge with us. This is a very famous bull. His name was Backup. And Backup was a true champion. He fathered 1 million cattle. Very famous bull, great genetics. So I think this would be a pretty good life to live. You're fed 2 meals a day, your semen's harvested twice a week. You're gonna see, these are the most docile bulls I've ever seen. They walk them around like they're ponies. They're just all chilling in their little spots, waiting for the next meal, waiting to go to the collection facility. I think it's pretty good. Look how chill they are. I mean, get over here, look at this. Look at that hump. That is like the source of some really good eating there. I mean, just, these bulls, the camera cannot do justice to how big these bulls are. They're so powerful, and we're getting up close and personal, and some of them are a little scary. I mean, we've all jumped back a few times trying to get pictures. They are so big. Oh yeah, come on now. So we just did a tour of learning a lot about the genetics. These bulls were super cool, super powerful. Some of them are more chill than others. So let's go on inside and get our education for the day. Talked about the cattle itself, talked about the process of how they collect the semen. It goes underground in a tube from the facility where they collect the semen to here. There's a laboratory where they're testing it for the strength and quality of the sperm. And then they use this technology for tanks and freezing the straws. They can store some of it here. They ship it all over the world. It's just, it's really amazing where the technology's going on artificial insemination. So how cool is this? We're in Roberto Barcelo's restaurant. He's got a butcher shop next door. He's known as the meat man, and he is going to spend some time showing us how to break down a cow and go through some of the favorite cuts that they like to cook and eat here in Brazil. I learned so much. These two butchers here are some of the best I've ever seen. I would be embarrassed to do any butcher work in front of these two. They both compete in butcher wars. They broke down a half a cow, went through all the different cuts. You guys are amazing, so much knowledge, but we're gonna probably just focus on 3 cuts. One cut that is, I don't see at home much, and that is the copine. It's the hump. This was a younger cow, so we could grill this a little bit like a steak, but when the cow gets older, there gets a little bit more cartilage in there, and you'll cook it a little bit more done, but that was amazing to me. Another cut that's one of my favorites is the flat iron steak, and it comes from the front shoulder, and so I watched them separate that. The skill that it takes to separate at that seam is amazing. That I learned for the first time today is that first little cut right before the seam really starts to develop is the bonanza steak, which was really interesting to see and learn. There's only one on each side of every cow. The cut that is probably cost the most per pound in the front quarter of a cow is the Denver steak. You can see the marbling here. It just really makes for a really good chew. One of my favorites is the shank. If we were to cut this, we could get ossobuco out of there. We can also get the bone marrow out of the top. I learned today that down at this side, the bone marrow is not as good as here. I would be so remiss if I did not talk about this cut. Picanha, it's really close to a cut that I like to cook all the time. But one of the things that Roberto said that he really likes to do is if he were to cook this whole, and they would probably season it with just salt, when he goes to make his slices, he goes this way because the tenderness is different here than it is over here. And if we cut it into steaks this way, every steak's gonna have a different chew. Just so much that I learned today. Over the next few days, we're gonna be taking some of these cuts, going to the fire, cooking them, and just showing you how they might serve these meats in Brazil. So we've been to the ranch. We had a master class taught by the butchers, and now my good friend Adriano, who was born in Brazil, is gonna share 3 recipes with us that highlight 3 cuts of beef that are really popular in Brazil.
This is Brahma hump, called cupim in Brazil. Cooks like brisket. So the first step, we're gonna remove the silver skin and a little bit the extra fat. Now we remove the silver skin. Let's apply a good coat of salt and pepper or your favorite rub. Now we apply the nice coat of your favorite rub. Let's go to the grill. We have a hot grill over the charcoal, and we're gonna cook the hump, grilling, until we have a nice crust. You need the grill nice and hot. Keep turning until we have a nice crust. Now we're gonna wrap it in aluminum foil. Use a pan to create a bowl shape and tip it in your favorite beer. You need to wrap a lot of times. Now we have our little baby. Let's put it in the smoker at 300 Fahrenheit. Now it's gonna stay there for around 5 hours or until it reaches the temperature of 203 Fahrenheit. While that is cooking, let's make choripan. Very popular here in Brazil, but originate in Argentina and Uruguay. First step, use a fresh sausage. It's important to know this is my version to cook choripan. Start by remove the meat inside the casing. You can use any sausage, but this one is Brazilian sausage. Next step, we're gonna cut our bread in half. We call this French roll, but some people know as Vietnamese bread. Now we're gonna add an even layer of the sausage meat. Push down into the bread. Make sure the meat goes all the way to the edge. Now it's ready. Let's cook over hot charcoal grill. Now the sausage is cooking on the bread. Let's add your favorite salsa. You can use your favorite salsa. This one is tomato, onion, capsicum, olive oil, white vinegar, and salt to taste. This is my version of choripan. The next cut we're gonna cook is rump cap picanha. This is the most famous cut in Brazil, the queen of churrasco, and this is the way I cook it. The first step is to trim off any silver skin from the back. Let's flip. Now I'm gonna crisscross the fat to help the cooking process. Next, let's apply a good coat of rock salt. Now let's put in the smoker at 300 Fahrenheit, fat up for around 40 minutes. Let's do it. been 40 minutes. Let's take the picanha out. The fat should be soft. Now we're gonna crisp it up. Place the picanha fat side down over the charcoal. Keep watching. You wanna make sure the fat is nice and gold. I love picanha because it's fatty and juicy. The fat can catch on fire. Keep moving around. The fat should be crisp, not burned. Now it's been rested for 10 minutes. Now let's cut in steak size slices. Now let's apply another layer of rock salt. Turn over and apply a rock salt again. Yes, I know it's a lot of salt. Don't worry, we're gonna bash it off after we cook. Let's take the steak over a hot grill and turn every couple of minutes. We want to make sure we cook until a really nice crust, but don't overcook. When it's ready, bash the rock salt off. Rest for 10 minutes before we slice. Now it's been 10 minutes. When you slice, cut against the grain. That's it. Let's serve it up.
Started at a full house, ended up just me and good old James. I could swore that I was winning, kinda had a feeling. Last thing I remember, I was drinking till the moon shined. Oh my. Turns out that I just got
It's been 6 hours. Let's get the cupine out.
north of the Georgia line.
Let's eat.
Did you cook this?
It's on point.
The last cut I'm gonna cook for you, skirt steak. Let's cook a couple of minutes each side on the grill. Couple of minutes, let's flip. Let's rest for 10 minutes. It's been rest for 10 minutes. Let's slice against the grain.
One of the interesting things to me about the approach in cooking meats down here in Brazil over fire is they cook the meat over the fire first, get that char, get that smoke, and then let it rest, slice, and season, and generally just with salt. Okay, so we started with the farm where the cattle was raised, then we went to the butcher where they showed us how to break it down, and now Adriano has been so kind to share with us 3 recipes of 3 popular cuts of beef here in Brazil: picanha, skirt steak, and hump. You should try these at home. It's usually about the fire, the beef, and salt. So let's eat.
Dig in there, chef.
Ooh-wee. Melts in your mouth, tender. Got the nice char from the fire. Good salt. I think your wife must love you.